What's going on, everybody? We're going to do something a little bit different today. So I've had a lot of questions over the past few months on how I have my servers set up for breeding. So I figured it would be a good idea to go ahead and do a tutorial on how to set up a server with GPortal. Now, GPortal is definitely my favorite server providers, and they are awesome. I have all of my servers hosted by them, and they make it super, super easy. So we're going to go ahead and go through all of this. First thing, obviously, you're going to need to create an account. I'm not going to teach you how to create an account. You guys can do that. It's super easy. You can make it with your Gmail account. And then once you do that, you can just click on My Servers, and then what you do is you actually buy slots. So you're not like buying a traditional server like you usually do, where you have to buy like 10 slots, 30 slots, or whatever, however many slots you have to buy per server. You actually just buy slots, and then you can allocate those to how many servers you want. So I've got 120 slots, and I've assigned them, to all the servers that I have. So what we're going to do is once you have your slots, then you can just go ahead and add a server. Now, your servers have a minimum number of slots, like say 7 Days to Die, they'll each have their minimum number. I think Minecraft is super low, so Minecraft you can have a minimum of 4, but with Ark Survival Evolved, we need a minimum of 10. Now, you can do PS4 servers on here, and then PC servers. Eventually, Xbox servers will be coming once they're fully supported. But we're going to go ahead and make my test server that I need, because I'm just transferring everything over here now. So let's go ahead and let's make an Ark Survival server on East Coast, and then we're just going to make it 10 slots because that's all I need personally. It's the minimum that you can have. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then now it should pop up here, and it actually shows the installation progress. So we're just going to go ahead and let this install real quick, and then we'll get into it. All right, so we're almost done installing, and I want to go ahead and show you the really cool thing about GPortal is, if I wanted to turn this server, or basically what I can do real quick is, let's see here, I can go in here in settings, and then I can reduce this down to, I don't know, let's go ahead and reduce it down to, let's just do 20 real quick. And this will reduce that, and then it'll give me all of those back, and then I can reassign them to, say, this one. If I suddenly decide to open the server up for other people, I can just go in here and increase the amount of slots on this server. So it's just a really cool and convenient way to be able to, change on the fly the amount of people that can log into any of your servers. But let's just go ahead. I'm just going to switch this back real quick because I don't need 30 slots on this server. I only need 10. And then I'm actually going to save those other slots because I might need them for something else in the future. But let's go ahead and set the server up now. So to set the server up, you just got to click into it like this, and this will give us all the information here. So you can start the server here, reinstall the server. All of your server information and connection stuff is here. Don't worry, I'm going to be deleting all of this, so it's not going to be anything that you guys can access in the future, just so you know. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to set up. So you can set your server name here. I'm just going to do TagBackTV test, and we're just going to leave it at 10 slots. It's going to be on the island. Total conversion, this is where you can select your primitive plus, which we're not going to be using, and then your current save game location, which is just the current save game. Now this is where you can set up your server password. Now this will make it so that when you log in, you'll have to actually use a password. So just do password. There we go. And this is where you can set your admin password. And we'll just do, I don't know, password again. Now this is your spectator password. So for some reason my system is not translating it. Although it is translated, it's just for some reason my browser isn't fully translating everything. Because these guys are actually new to the States. They're one of the top, if not the top server provider in the UK right now. So they're still new to the States. So some of the stuff in the back end, it doesn't always translate for some reason. It wasn't like this earlier. I don't know what's going on right now. But anyways, this is your spectator password. If you guys know what spectating is, you just set this. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that to password as well. And then this is your kick AFK people timer. So that's at 200 or 2,400 seconds. Don't really need to worry about that. So this basically just has all of your server settings, your basic settings. Now you can go down here. This is where you can actually select all of your mods. That's really cool. We'll go over this in a second. This is where you whitelist everybody, admin whitelist, ban list, your exclusive join IDs. This is where you can select all your options for battle eye, to get the game log, the anti-cheat system. You can set your culture. We're going to go ahead and set this to English. This is all your game logs and everything. Now, this is where you get into more of these server settings. So you can do allowed third person, which I always do. And then we always use PvP for breeding servers because that allows you to destroy the unclaimed baby dinos if you don't want them. Now you can do all the settings in here. I'm not going to tell you what each setting does. It's pretty self-explanatory usually. I'll just show you the stuff that I usually set. So we're not going to mess around with any of this stuff. Now, once you change something, you just click save here, and that'll save everything for you. Now, chat settings, we're just going to leave that to that. Proximity chat, we're going to leave on. This global chat means that when you type something in chat, it'll send globally instead of just locally, which is a standard thing. You don't really have to change anything in here. Now, these are all the general settings. This is where we're going to actually start changing some stuff. So we're going to activate show map player location. Difficulty offset, I always set to 8. On the Gaming Evolved servers, we actually have a difficulty of 6. This Seasons of Aberration is set to 5. Now, I always enable PvP Gamma because I usually, if you don't want Gamma, you can just toggle this off. So other than that, the only other stuff I change in here is nothing. Server crosshair I always turn on. And then pretty much everything else. You can really pick and choose what you want on and what you want off, as well as all of these things in here. So there's nothing really else I change in there. This is where you can turn off all of your tribute downloads if you don't want anybody bringing stuff on from single player or other servers. You can also set your cluster ID up here. Everything is already paid for. You don't have to pay more for clustering like you do on every other server. So all you have to do is just turn it on, and then your cluster IDs, every time you get a server, it's automatically importing the cluster ID. So all you have to do is actually activate it. You can also prevent downloads of stuff here as well. So let's go ahead and go back down here. The general settings, restricted settings, we've already gone over. Procedurally generated Ark, this is where you can set all that stuff up super easy. If that's something you want to do. We're not using a procedurally generated Ark. We're just going to use the island. Now, these are your multiplier settings. So what we usually change is the harvest multiplier. We're not going to change any of that. We're just going to mess with the baby mature speed. So for the baby mature speed, we're going to set that at 50. And then you can actually do like 100 if you wanted to. Sometimes 100 is not bad. Depends on what you're using for some of the settings. You can increase your poop here, so you can do a little bit more farming, which is something I sometimes do. You actually have to lower it to increase more poop. I'm not going to do that, though. So let's see here. BabyImprintingStatScaleMultiplier. So this is what you can increase to adjust how much the stats go up when you apply an imprint to a dino. I'm going to leave that at 1 because I like playing with vanilla settings, so it's realistic for you guys. Now, let's see here. So this is where is XPMultiplier? I usually set to, all the Gaming Evolved servers is set to 1.5. I usually like playing at 5. It just makes things a little bit easier, less grindy. TamingSpeedMultiplier, we have at 5. And then, let's see here, where is the rest of the dino stuff? EggHatchSpeedMultiplier at 50. And then crop growth speed, that's not what we're worried about. Baby cuddle grace period, not worried about that. We need the mating interval. All right, there's the mating interval. Now, let's see here. So we usually set this at 0.0025 is what I use on my servers. I think that's about the lowest you can go. If you want it to go instantaneously, you just put it down to like 0.000001 or something like that for instantaneous. It should automatically set it to whatever the instantaneous thing is. And then lay egg interval multiplier. This is for non-fertilized eggs, I believe. Now, the other setting that you're going to need to set is the BabyCuddleIntervalMultiplier, which is something that when you have them growing faster, you need to change this or you're not going to be able to fully imprint. Now, the settings that we're using, you have to set it to 0.0464, and that allows you to imprint everything when you have your babies growing at 100%. So we're actually going to change this to 50. This is supposed to be 50, and this one's supposed to be 100. Sorry about that. So when you have your baby mature speed at 50, this is what your cuddle interval needs to be to get 100% imprinting. So those are all the settings I usually use for my Ark. Now, if you don't want to change it that way, you can also go to your configuration files over here, and then you can just set everything manually inside the game user settings. So you can select your game user settings, you can load it, and then for those of you that already know all the settings that they want or have something they can copy and paste, you can just copy and paste it into your game user settings, hit save, and then you're done. And you can do exactly the same thing with your game INI. You can just load this, copy and paste the game INI you want into here, and then click save, and you're good to go. Now you can also get all of your logs right here. If I had any logs, I could select it and read all the logs. Now this is what's really cool. When you go to the mods tab, you actually can search for a mod ID or a mod name. Let's just do, I don't know, castles, forts, and keeps. And then you can just click add. And now, once this is installed, it's going to automatically install just on the server backend. So once it's installed on the server backend, let's go ahead and just let it install, and I'll show you what it does. So to get the mods to install real quick, all you got to do is just start the server, and it'll update everything, and then you can just stop it. And once the mods are installed, you just go back to basic settings, and then now you'll have a list of available mods. And what you can do is you can just drag these over and put them over here. Now what's nice about this is the mod at the top will always load first. There's a lot of issues where servers, no matter where you put the mods, it'll decide what mods it wants to load first. But here, if I have ACM put here, it's going to load first no matter what. And that is super helpful. We can just go ahead and reorder that if we want. Put it down here, and we'll just get all those mods on there. Super easy way to control all the mods on your server without having to go through the list. It shows you the mod ID and the mod name. It's so much better than working from the config file. And then it's just super convenient. You can also just search for all the mods here, and then you can also click on the workshop link to see a description about it. It's pretty awesome. So other than that, we can go over to the console here. Now this is really nice. A lot of servers don't offer this. I've used a lot of servers. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But this one definitely works. Now you can run all of your commands straight from here, so you don't even have to log in to do any of your commands. And it also has a list of the most used commands in Ark. So you can just copy and paste one of those, edit it how you want, and then send it to the server. Pretty amazing. And we can go over to the system here, and we can set all of our scheduled stuff. That's pretty basic stuff. I'm not going to set any of this up, but you can just click add new entry, date and time, description, and get it all set up that way. But we're not going to worry about that right now. That's not something that's really needed to do. Can we just go back? There we go. And we'll go back. And then you can go to your permissions here. And this is where you can add admins to your backend so that you can help people or have people to help you restart the server, run commands, and just manage your server. All you need to do is have somebody make a GPortal account, and then they tell you their username. You add their username here, click add user, and you're good to go. Now you got to keep in mind, if you're using the gportal.us, they need to make a gportal.us account versus the gportal.uk. But otherwise, that is all there is to actually setting up a server with GPortal. Super streamlined. It's incredibly easy. You actually get active CPU and RAM usage once the server is actually started, and you're pretty much golden and good to go. Once your once you go ahead and put it online, we can just go ahead and do that now. And then all you got to do is just use this IP address to log in. And if you don't know how to do that, you can just create a Steam Connect. It's pretty easy. Anyways, I hope that helped you guys out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, check my description for an offer code to be able to sign up for your own GPortal server. Anyways, have a great day, everybody. Bye.